Okay, for this project I want to do something a little fun that my child and I have done in the past. In the past, there used to be this group that I was a part of on Facebook where basically you would paint rocks, you'd hide them around town, and people would find them, and then they'd kind of like spreading joy. And we did it, like I said, it was probably about 3 years or more ago. But I got thinking about it the other day, and I really wanted to kind of revisit the idea of painting rocks. So I kind of went out today to find some. And so I'm going to show you 3 different rocks because I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. So I thought I'd kind of show you the kind of rocks that I like looking for. And you can do this on small rocks or big rocks, obviously. I would say if you're doing this with kids, like small kids, maybe a smaller rock or even a bigger. Either one should work. Just find ones that aren't going to be like they'd hurt themselves. So this is the first rock of the day. Surprisingly, this is really light. Like when I picked it up, I don't know what type of rock it is, but I like it for all the different like curves it kind of has. So this was my option to figure out to do something on this one. So that's option number 1. Let's put that over there. This next one is a little bigger and a little more weird. So this rock is kind of shaped a lot differently than the others. Like I said, it's got, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out which one I get inspired by. So this is number 2. And then my last rock choice was this one, which again has different angles, a flat kind of surface here, so if I wanted to just paint a scene I could. But again, this was this one. So these are the 3 choices of rocks. And I thought it'd be interesting to ask you guys which one do you think I'm going to pick to paint on in this video. And if you like this video idea and want to see me paint maybe the other ones, make sure you comment down below and hit the subscribe button so you're notified if I do. So let's figure out which of these 3 am I going to choose. Let's see. I decided to go with, drum roll please, this one. I don't know why, but when I was re-looking them over, this one just kind of says something to me. So I don't know what's going to end up being. Like I said, there's different angles. I could lay it this way and do something here. I could lay it weirdly and do there. It seems to be sturdy. I could lay it this way and do something this way. I have no clue because like I said, there's like a dip. So this was one that was speaking to me. So I guess the first thing I do is to kind of what I call prime it. I'm going to cover it all in white paint just so that way when I add other colors they pop more than obviously doing it on this type of surface. So that's going to be my first step. So obviously, you know, I have a bunch of random kind of paintbrushes that I had. I don't know which ones I'll actually end up using. I even got this one because I want to kind of maybe coat it afterwards with Mod Podge to make it a little shinier. So I've got just a little paper plate over here to kind of set those on. I got my little art tray to put the paint on. And so over here, well, I'm gonna put this in the camera now. This is like a lot of yarn trays. Let me just back this thing up. Let me go up a little higher so you can see all the yarn that I'm gonna be using for inspiration. So I decided to go with a gloss yarn, gloss paint versus a matte one. I want it to be a little shinier. But obviously, if you don't want to do that, you can get the yarn. I keep wanting to call it yarn. You can get the paint that is a matte finish, but it's just a little more duller. So I wanted to stick with the gloss. So I've got all these different colors. We got our blues, our browns, our purples, our yellow. More blues back here. A couple different shades of green back here. We've got like a beigey color. We've got a dark gray. We've got a fruit punch flavored, and like a light blue, like I said, different shades of some blue. We got a turquoise, a Bahama blue, a real navy. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So this is what I thought would just be kind of fun and a relaxed video that I could do where I'm just gonna be painting a rock and we'll see what happens at the end. But like I said, the first thing I want to do is just take my white paint, which I believe I do have more of this, and I want to just cover it all in white so that whatever color I use pop. So that's all I'm gonna do right now. So I'm gonna move my paint aside. Move my rock over. And again, when I say I'm going to paint all since I want to do the top, I kind of think this is going to be top. I'm going to paint the whole rock. So I'm just going to do the top, let that dry, do the sides, do the other sides. When it all dries, I'll flip it over and do the bottom as well. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of me painting. I'm not going to show you me painting the whole thing white because you get that idea. But again, you're just going to want to shake up your paint before you use it just to make sure it's all mixed in. And then just like, sorry, put some on my tray. Oh, don't tell me this is a new one. Let me see. Let me make sure it's not a new one because I tend to do that sometimes. No, it's not a new one. Okay. Alright. So I kind of got some on my paper here, but that's okay. So since I'm just planning on covering an area, I'm just going to go with my biggest paintbrush. And and let's just paint the whole thing white. And since I messed some on there, I'm just picking up what I messed up on here. And that's it. I'm just going to slather it on. Trying to get all the nooks and crannies as much as you can. Okay, pretty much all three sides. Now I just gotta let this dry, flip it over, and do the bottom. Okay, I kind of covered the whole thing in the white paint. I wasn't worrying about doing too many coats, just the main ones, or just a thin layer. This is just from the construction paper, which paint will end up covering it up. It just kind of stuck, if you can see the little spots where it kind of stuck. Now, the thing I was trying to figure out was like what angle I wanted it at, and after much thought, I decided this angle, which I will show you all the sides when I get done, but we're going to focus, I'm going to basically show you me painting the top, and then I'll probably end up doing the sides a little bit off camera, just because of the angle I need to get and how I have my camera. So I'm going to just paint the top of it, and then I'll end up going off camera to paint the rest, and then I'll show you the finished product. So let's get into painting this, and I hope you like what I put on it. I am not a professional painter. At times I like to say, you know, I'm inspired by Bob Ross. So this is just kind of, I hope people take this with like, if you're somebody that's, you know, you don't do a lot of crafts and you're scared about painting, I say just go for it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter if this comes out looking like a 2-year-old did it. Who cares? The idea is just to have fun with it. So again, I'm going to go ahead and paint the top on camera. The rest I will paint off camera. So let's get into the top. Now getting into the top, I'm going to end up just speeding this up a little bit so there'll be some music and you guys can just watch. I don't really want to talk through this process. I just want to focus on the process. But as I'm going, if you want to comment down below what you think I'm creating, go for it. When I do get done with it, let me know what you think of it down below. And if you'd like to see me, as I said before, paint another rock, let me know. Again, this is just for fun, so here we go. Just a quick note, I do pause in between because I had to let this set for a little bit to dry some before I could do more green around the rocks and do what I wanted to do in the blue as well. So keep that in mind. If you're doing a rock painting, you may need to pause to let some pieces have time to dry before you continue working on them. So this way, it's not too bad on the gray. I can kind of get around these a little more with the green that I want to do. Because I don't want to, the rocks aren't going to be perfect, so I want like it look like there's grass kind of around them. So here we go. And young grass kind of going into the river a little bit, or the waterfall, whatever you want to call it here. So I did mainly the top and this side. I'll have to do this side here in the back. I'll do that off camera because that's going to be a little trickier to like show. So I'll show that after it's all done. So I'm just trying to make sure that I got my green. Okay, I'm now going to go off camera and just kind of touch this up a little more before I show you the final result. So I'm going to paint the sides that you don't see, finish my touch-ups, and then I'm going to turn around and wait for it to completely dry, and then I'm going to cover it with this water-based sealer that should give it a little shiny, continue having a glossy. So like I'm going to try to seal it with some Mod Podge. So that's what I'm going to do. So when I see you back here, I'll show you all sides of this, and I can't wait to see what you guys think. Okay, it's all done. I did not Mod Podge the bottom yet, so as you can kind of see, this is not as shiny as like the sides. But I will say a tip when you're doing the Mod Podge, which is this: do a very thin coat and be careful, because like, if you glop it too much, if you can see on the side, I still have some that's kind of glooped a little bit, but I'm not too upset about that. So I just kind of learned as I went that I just needed to make sure I had thinned out some of this a little more on here. I may have used a little much in places, but I really like how this came out as my little waterfall. I feel like I could have done better. Obviously, it could have been better. Anyone watching this as a professional painter would definitely be saying, hey, you should have did this, or you should have did that. I'm curious if I change the tone of my thing, if it'll kind of dark. There you go. So I liked that I kind of tried to utilize the bumps that were already in the rock, and tried to highlight a little bit with using, if we can zoom in here a little bit. Like I tried to utilize some of the bumps that were already here. I tried to figure out like shading of the rocks to make them pop a little more. And overall, I'm really happy with it. I feel like, given, you know, my level of experience with painting and stuff, I'm still learning, and I've been a while since I painted rocks, but on this side we've got some more rocks. The back I could have did a little better with, obviously. I forgot to do any kind of rocks back here, and I really didn't know how much more to do with the water, if the water should have came down, if that would have looked weird. So I just kept the water up the top, considering how I would display this. And again, we've got a few little rocks on this side. Again, you can kind of see why I glumped the Mod Podge a little too much, so definitely go a little thinner. It comes out white and it dries clear, so really make sure you do a thinner layer than I probably did. It didn't work out too bad on the top, but like I said, on the sides I noticed that it was a little too much in spots, so again, I'm happy with that. But overall, I think it came out pretty decent for my first bigger rock project. I have done other rocks, painted rocks. One looked like a cat one time, one was looking like a potato. I've done flowers on one. Like, I have other ones I've done, but it's been at least 2, maybe 3 years since I painted rocks, I'm unsure. And I think this rock came out really good. Only downfall is I wish I would have taken a before picture of the rock. I didn't realize that till after I had painted it white. When I was off camera, I went, oh shoot, I should have took a picture of the rock to show it before. So luckily I'm glad I do have the footage of before, what it looked like. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of my somewhat kind of like waterfall, and let me know what you would paint on a rock. If you found a rock, is there a certain thing that you would like to paint on it? And if you want me to try painting the other 2 rocks I showed at the beginning of the video, which again I'll just quickly show you, if you'd like me to paint either this rock or this one, which is surprisingly, this one's very light compared to this one, but if you'd like me to try painting a rock again for you guys to see, let me know in the comments below, and give this video a thumbs up if you might try to tackle rock painting yourself. And as always, I hope you have a great day, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of future videos. It's always important too, if you like this video, please share it on your social medias for others to see, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.